I can see Shelley Hoffman on the other side. We're having, again, a little bit of a technical difficulty, and I think we need to have somebody from telecommunications come figure this out. So we'll work on that again later, but just wanted to give you a quick update what we're doing here in Van Buren. As you know, the governor has put the pause until May 15th, and we are still working at 50% staff level. From our town clerk's perspective, she has begun sending out dog licenses for April and May, so you'll get those in the mail, and you can go ahead and just send in your payment, credit card, check, or money order to Town Hall. And Kate Halloran, our deputy clerk, is here daily to pick up the mail and to pick up any payments. So we'll handle it that way and then send you out the paperwork that you need. Secondly, the clerk's office is handling handicap parking permits on an ongoing basis. She has done some, brought them down here to Town Hall, and she's arranged to meet with people to get those handicap stickers to them, the placards. Next, our highway department is going to be going back to work. We're anticipating on April 22nd, again, at 50% staffing level. And they're going to try to get caught up on some of the lawn maintenance repairs from the winter. They were able to do some of that in March, but right now they're going to try and get caught up as much as possible, having only 50% staffing levels. If you need to call the highway department, just call the regular number. And now that I want to tell you the number, it is 315-635-5124. And you can either leave a message for Janelle or for Doug Foster, the highway superintendent. The codes office and the engineer are still working. I was down here last week one day, and there was a contractor dropping off some plans for the engineer to review and then to turn over to codes. So we are still trying to proceed as normal as much as possible to move projects along. I know codes is trying to do some inspections, again, with social distancing in mind. If he can do a framing, house framing, and he can have the on-site construction workers off to the side where he can go do it himself, we're doing that. And codes and the engineer are both taking phone calls from residents regarding drainage issues, whether it's on roads or whether it's in a backyard. I know last week somebody called in that their neighbor was discharging water from their sump pump onto the neighbor's lawn. So we had the codes officer go out and speak to both of the residents, because whatever water is produced by your sump pump has to stay on your property and then flow into the regular stormwater drainage. So again, those are normal calls that we get at this time of the year, and we're handling those as best we can. Again, we're all at 50%.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mary,
the next, yes.
You may have be covering it, but I was just curious. We talked about the way that the board meeting is being handled in the village and the town of Lysander. How are you guys handling the board meeting so that we can get the information that you guys talked about at this meeting?
Right now, we postponed the April 7th board meeting, and we are postponing the April 21st board meeting. The supervisor looked at the agenda. There's nothing pressing that has to be done this week, so we are going to be canceling that meeting. That notice is up on our town website. We are hoping to get the meeting on May 7th, I believe it is. May 5th, I'm sorry. We're trying to figure out a way to have that meeting. And again, that also pertains to the zoning planning board, which would be the following Tuesday on the 12th. So we're trying to get geared up for those. But right now, since there wasn't anything pressing, we're just going to take this month off for meetings.
Okay.
Okay. A big thing that we have had conversation with the residents is from the Parks and Rec Department regarding the summer playground series. And a lot, we're not going to start registration for the summer programs until May 4th. And when you send in your registration information, remember that you have to send in the immunization records as well. We're trying to have this prepared and ready to go so that if we can make the summer program happen, we are all set with registrations, all the money's taken care of, whatever. So when you send in your application, your registration, you need to send in your payment as well. And I know the Parks Department has that up on their website as well. They have a whole listing of timeframes and when the parks playground stuff will start. And there's also an announcement on the Parks and Rec website and on the main Town of Van Buren website regarding DEC hunting education programs, and those can be done online. Good. So again, you can go ahead and start getting those signed up through the DEC website.
Okay. I was just going to say, is there anything that typically happens during this time period that isn't happening just because of the pandemic or the 50%?
Right now, both Kathy Perkins, the Parks Director, and Heidi Anders, the Recreation Supervisor, are getting all the plans in place for our summer programs and for the pools, because for the pool, we have to hire all the lifeguards and the people to work in the bathhouse to take the money. Right now, I know that they're taking phone calls from those people that want to return this year to work at the pool, but right now, we just don't have a date as to if we can start, and if we can, when we can start. I know our buildings and grounds is ready to make the pool can happen. We have to have about a 2-week notice to get the pool up and operational. But we have been dealing with the health department on both the playground programs and the pool, because we still have to have Onondaga County Health Department come through and certify both of those options. And as we know, the health department's a little bit stressed right now, so opening a pool for the summer isn't quite on top of their priority list.
Right. Okay.
One other thing I need to mention is I have heard that the sheriff has been out to Van Buren Park because people are not social distancing, congregating in the parking lot. And we really do not want to close the parking lot so that people can't walk through Van Buren Park. You know, we really ask people to keep the social distancing in mind. And now that the governor has put in the face mask rule starting tonight, again, if you're going to come, we want you to come enjoy the park. Just as Dick Clark said, the parks in the village, the playground equipment is not accessible. Yeah. We've taken down the hoops or covered the basketball hoops again, because you can't be out playing a game of 5-on-5. You know, if it was one person shooting hoops, that's okay. But unfortunately, once you give a little bit of latitude, then you get some people, oh, well, let's just go up as the neighborhood kids. And we just can't have that. You know, we're still trying to protect everybody. So I know it's a problem, but we ask that you bear with us. And as the governor and the county exec have both said, get out, get your exercise, walk around the block. If you want to go for a run, go for a run. But again, you've got to keep the social distancing in mind.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming here again. And I don't know what it is with us and the technical difficulties, but you're always a trooper. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're trying to make it work.
So for those of you that can't tell, I'm actually talking to Mary Frances via my cell phone on speaker. So that's why there might be a little bit of an echo. But I just appreciate you coming and giving us the information about the town of Van Buren letting everybody know it's running the best that it can, and having the same social distancing. Not a huge problem. It doesn't seem like it's a major problem, but there's still people that are not practicing it, and we're trying to keep the COVID-19 virus out of Baldwinsville, out of Onondaga County, just flatten the curve, and we need people to help with it. So I'm glad you guys are enforcing it somewhat.
One thing to mention, the county exec has been great every day running down the number of cases in each town. And in Greater Baldwinsville, we have 11 confirmed cases. And that number is very low. Van Buren has 4, Van Buren has, or Lysander has 7 or 11. I forget the exact number, but relatively small amounts. And again, the social distancing has helped keep that low. I know when I was at the grocery store last week, last Saturday night late, I couldn't believe the number of people that did not have on some sort of glove, whether it's a winter glove, and unfortunately with the snow, you can still have those winter gloves out. They had nothing as far as masks. They thought nothing about just walking in front of you or standing right next to you when you're obviously looking for a product. And I know that I moved out of the way rather quickly. And again, I had a mask on, I had gloves on, but some people just haven't grasped the idea that they need to stay 6 feet away from everybody else, which is really sad because that's, as you said, we're trying to flatten the curve, and that's the way to do it.
No, it is, and that's probably the reason it's being mandated now with the mask. And I know, I'm sure you heard it too in the beginning, they didn't think the mask made a difference, but it seems like in the countries that it's not doing that much, the mask has been there from the beginning. So it just seems like a good idea. They're uncomfortable if you wear glasses, they steam with your glasses, but at the end of the day, it'll help us get back into society a little bit quicker, help the economy, and people just be able to socialize with their family and friends again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the sooner that happens, the better. I know May 15th was a real downer to hear from the governor, but the amount of deaths in New York State is just unbelievable. And the number of cases here in Onondaga County continues to rise. So we've got to do our part.
Yeah, we do. Well, thank you again. Is there any last bit of information that maybe you have listed that we didn't talk about, or anything else you want to share with the community?
Yes, I know that the topic of assessments has been fast and furious, and I know people on social media are really, really upset about the assessments. This is something that happens annually. The timing of this, the assessment letters going out for Van Buren and Lysander.
Yeah.
Our assessor, who has, I think, 20 years of experience and is certified, knows what she's doing. And I have seen comments on social media that this person, Teresa, doesn't have any idea what she's doing. Quite the contrary. She has to have continuing education annually, which she has to attend, which we obviously support wholeheartedly. One of the things that people don't realize, the number of people that want to move into the Beeville School District and move either into Van Buren or into Lysander. I have seen comments on social media that say that the new Seneca Golf Course development, which is on hold right now because it's not considered essential business,
right,
is causing the increase in the assessments. And that is totally, totally untrue. People have been buying homes here in Van Buren at prices that are much higher than you would expect. And I have 3 different friends that are all real estate agents, and they're all saying some people have put personal property that they're buying from the owner into the cost of the sale price, which again raises the sale price. You have people putting in closing costs into the sale price. Again, that raises the sale price, and it raises everybody's assessment in the neighborhood. And it's great that people want to move here. and they are paying more for it. On the flip side, some of the other people that haven't done as much upkeep or haven't done remodeling are seeing their prices go up because that's the nature of what people are willing to pay in each neighborhood. And
Right.
what I can send to you is the list of dates. I had asked Teresa Golden for this about 3 weeks ago, the list of dates that all assessors in New York State have to comply with. And I don't know if there's a way I can email that to you, if we can put it up as a visual.
Sure.
Many people don't realize that when you do a reassessment, the last date that they can take a look at is June 30th of 2019. So you look at properties that have sold in an area for the last couple of years in that particular neighborhood, but they all stop as of June 30th, 2019. And that's the same thing whether it's in Lysander or in Van Buren or in Salina or in Liverpool, whatever.
Okay. I know that Teresa is going to the Lysander town meeting, and she's doing an explanation of how she will do assessment. So people in Van Buren, if you, not that you necessarily want to take the time to watch the Lysander meeting, but I believe Packy is pulling that piece out of it, and they're just going to play that assessment description. You know, Teresa describing how it's done. So it's going to be a good thing to watch. Obviously, you have, I don't know the date, you might know, Mary Frances, but the date that you can file for your grievance. Now I believe it's a letter that's coming in.
Grievance day is, here in Van Buren, is the 4th Tuesday of May. It's May 28th. Right now, Teresa is doing informal conversations with residents in both Van Buren and in Lysander, but as of May 1st, she will send out, or people will need to contact our assessor office and say that they want to go to the grievance board, and the Board of Assessment Review will go ahead and hear the conversations, look at the material presented to support their case about lowering the assessment. You never have one that's going to raise the assessment, obviously. But I have heard from residents, and I've done some research for them on sale prices in their neighborhood for the last 3-4 years and how the assessments have been handled over that time. I know one lady in particular on my street has not done a renovation really of her house. And a person, I want to say 4 or 5 houses down from her, just about totally remodeled the inside. So that property went for substantially more than what this other neighbor is assessed at. You know, so that's something I know she's going to bring up to the Board of Assessment Review, that they've put all this money into the property, whereas she hasn't kept up as much with those types of upgrades.
And that all makes sense. And going in terms of what your real estate funds had said as well, the supply and demand is just making the housing market go up. If you have, 15 buyers fighting over one house, they just keep raising that price. And sometimes houses aren't asking for what they're selling for, but as long as people have the money to put down, they can still get the land for that amount. So there's a lot of factors that come into play with where houses are going for the amount that they're going for. And then that does come, into play with, I'm assuming, with the taxes and stuff like that. So it's a tough job that's right now.
Yes, she's in a no-win position. As people come in, move into the area, and they're paying more for housing, it impacts everybody. It's a good thing because when you do go to sell your property, you can probably get a higher sale price for it. So that's the good side of it. The downside is your assessment might change, but again, it depends on how much money the town spends annually, and that's where the assessments create the revenue. But in the last 10 years here in Van Buren, we have kept the tax levy as low as possible. We've always been under that 2% tax cap, and through very careful administration of each of the budgets department budgets, we have not come in spending at what we had budgeted. And I know, again, that's some comments on social media that, they're obviously overspending, and that's simply not the case. There's certain items that you have to take care of. A lot of the budget for the town goes to the highway department, trying to fix roads, drainage. It's amazing the cost of trying to do street repairs.
Yeah. No, it is.
I'm sorry. One other thing that I just wanted to mention, the charter office here on State Fair Boulevard across from the Big M is temporarily closed. Again, it's a social distancing problem that they were having. I know when friends have been in there could be 4 or 5 people waiting in line at the front desk to pay bills. And again, with social distancing, that doesn't work. So you're having to mail in your payment to charter if you're a charter subscriber. But
okay.
we have told them we do expect that office to reopen once this pandemic has leveled out and we can get back to business as normal. Because we know so many people in the area go down to that office, whether to pay a bill or whether to have a question answered. So it's just normal business, and we definitely need that office back open.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll slowly start opening businesses back up after May 15th. We'll see if we can get back to some type of normalcy.
Right, absolutely. But we are here for you. We're taking phone calls. I know the town clerk is answering phone calls at home and sending out a lot of tax receipts by email or mail. I know Kate Hellern, our deputy clerk, is in here every day getting mail, processing whatever, making whatever deposits we have to make on a regular basis. We're trying to keep everything flowing as much as possible with limited staff. And I believe the staff is doing a great job at that.
Nice. Good. Well, it seems like you guys are doing everything you can do. And like you said, priorities coming in, and stuff that needs to be done, and stuff that can wait. You can wait. I say this all the time, but I'm so glad that you took the time. You guys are busy, busy than you normally have. But I'm glad. Thank you very much for being here, and just giving us an update on what the town of Van Buren has been doing.
We're happy to be here and give everybody the update. And if you have questions, please call into the individual departments. Those phone numbers are on the Town of Van Buren website. And we want to be here to answer your questions. And a lot of people that have called in have been very surprised that we have been accessible.
Nice.
Okay.
Good. Right. Well, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you again for taking the time with me.
Okay, Shelley. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.